just saw, Red 5 developed its unique way of recruiting prospective employees. But how else can you attract great people? Well, let's turn to this week's board of directors to ask them. Lisa Orrell is the author of Millennials Incorporated, the big business of recruiting, managing, and retaining North America's new generation of young professionals.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
We were just talking here on the set how we have all put out job listings and have been very disappointed with the resume flow that we've gotten in the past. So this is not something that's just specific to an industry where there are more jobs than there are people. This happens to everyone. So what can you do to get good resumes?
Well, there's a number of things you can do, and with all the speaking and consulting that I've been doing with businesses of all shapes and sizes over the past couple months, let me tell you that this is not a company size issue. I've been working with companies with big name brands all the way down to smaller companies like our friends at Red 5 that don't have a lot of brand recognition that are suffering from the same type of thing. Aside from doing big campaigns like what Red 5 was able to do, where a lot of small businesses may not be able to afford to do that, there are a lot of creative things that people can do. I suggest to companies, if you've got 85% of recent college grads are on Facebook, you need to get your company a presence on Facebook or MySpace, or be very creative about how you can get onto YouTube, because those are very effective ways to go after especially the young college grads that are coming in, as well as your younger Gen Xers are all online and taking advantage of those places. There's been some companies that have done phenomenal things to get a presence on MySpace.
You know what's kind of neat about that too is you're not only branding yourself to get employees, but you're branding yourself to get customers as well. Some people don't take the time to recruit, or as much time as they should, so they'll put an ad up on Monster.com, for instance, or on Craigslist and think, I'm just going to get great people, and that's probably not a true statement.
Well, it's really tough, especially like Red 5 had mentioned, as they got lost in the shuffle, right? So if you're not a big brand that people know, you are potentially going to get lost in the shuffle. So you have to, on a shoestring budget, learn how to shuffle and make a lot of noise. The one other really great tip that has been working for companies I've been working with that's very inexpensive to do is when you do go to the traditional career fairs, whether it's for seasoned executives or whether it's for college recruitment, go ahead and put your information, all that collateral material, as PDFs on flash drives. And the beauty of that also is you can put on 30 to 45-second video clips about what it's like to work at your company, talk about the city and state that you work in or that you exist in, to also help with people wanting to relocate their families or themselves to be with you.
That's a great idea to end on. Lisa, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, JJ.
Kids' opinions matter in the household these days. Not just about, well, what kind of, plasma TV should we get, because they understand, or the boomer parent going, so help me figure out a computer to get, that kind of stuff. What's a BlackBerry? Google did a very cool thing, because a lot of companies realize, and people realize, they need to be on YouTube. Okay, it's just a given. All right, a lot of exposure there. Now, granted, there's a lot of, frat party type shenanigans on YouTube. And, how many flips can my chihuahua do? And, like all this random, crazy, silly stuff. They threw a rager, man. Because why? Because they knew that this generation and most 22-year-olds and 21-year-olds don't want to be at some stupid cocktail party. They want to be doing Jaeger shots with dancing girls. I mean, they want to have a good time. They want to be having a good time. Management by fear. If you don't get it done, you're going to get fired. Not real great with them, okay? Doesn't work real well. And a lot of this might seem like common sense, but unfortunately, and here's the kicker, a lot of it's not common practice. Common sense is one thing, but if you're not applying it, who cares? And I always have to tell the, the boomers, you created them, right? They didn't just hatch out of pods like the movie Cocoon and suddenly millennials were born, right? You created them. But think of how it keeps going, because then all day, people are going by going, oh my God, you got confetti, what did you do? Well, I was in my meeting, and that's good for you. And then somebody else walks by. The confetti makes people ask and makes people talking and helps play into her ego and makes her feel good about herself or his self. And it's for everybody. Okay, can you imagine being the janitor at that company? I hate this rewards program. So all you people and you older Gen Xers out there, can complain about the millennials and Gen Y until the cows come home. But I'm sure you weren't complaining as much about them when they were your 10-year-olds and they were your 16-year-olds and they were all that, okay? But now that they're working with you and they're someone else's kid, you're like, they're driving me crazy, okay? And I get it. I've talked to companies all the time that are going through it. But again, I always tell them to just take a step back and listen to what they have to say, because it's going to make a difference in your company. I moderated a panel at Yahoo, okay? I had 6 millennial gals on the panel. They were all from different companies, not all from Yahoo. One gal was from Yahoo, Lockheed Martin, Apple, Microsoft, a whole group of them. So I asked them, about 200 women, professional women in the audience, and I said, hey, so, you know, you young gals, are you seeing anything about the glass ceiling? You know, everybody was curious about that. It's true. You can bring a date to the holiday party. You can bring your spouse to the holiday party. You don't have either? Bring your mom. It's true, and companies are doing it.